Hi Patreon members, look at it, sunshine. Apparently we've got rain coming later on, but it's been 19 degrees here. So yeah, I've got to dress out the sandals out, take advantage. The cardigan will be on in the next hour, I promise you. So how are we all doing? Just had released the ply video the other day there, spin to ply. So I hope you enjoyed that. I have kept the post up for last month for the Q&A. If you just want to pop a question or anything that's on your mind, even if it's something silly, pop it on there. It's the Q&A from last month with a little sheep on it. So if you want to pop something on there, it's on the, you'll see it when you go through all the different posts, but it's on there. So anything, ask me anything. It's my 50th birthday next week. So yeah, so if you use your Patreon code, you will get, like everybody else, but for Patreon, I'll let it last for all of next week. But it'll be active from today. Patreon, you'll get buy two, get one free. Plus, I've got a sale on at the moment, so if you're really, really snazzy, you can go and grab a couple of those cards. We'll be taking off the newer ones, the newer blends that have been on there, and newer Rovings that are on there at the moment on my sales page. Then I will be taking some of those off, but there'll still be stuff in the sale section, which is called Iona's Discount Treats. So yeah, so you can pop over into that page and you can go and treat yourself, and you'll get buy two and you get your cheapest item free. Okay, and so you might as well take advantage. I think I've got about 85 items on the sales page at the moment. Yeah, so do enjoy, do use it. I won't change your discount code for that until at least so we say the 15th, the middle of May, because we're on the 1st of May today. So we say the 15th of May. It gives you a fortnight, because I know some of you guys wait until you've got a day off before you can catch up with us. So if you want to take advantage, you've got a fortnight to use that. Middle of May, 15th of May, and then I'll put the discount code for Patreon back to 15%, I think it is usually. So yeah, so what I thought we would do today is another spin video. I know. This one is well overdue. I should have had this done last week, but I've been back and forth for appointments and things like that, which I'll clarify at some point in some time. So yeah, so I was going to do bats this week. I was going to do your bat video, and I promise I will do a bat video when Phil's off on Sunday, and I can get some peace and quiet to get up the stairs without these two hounding me, because they've turned into nightmare shadows at the moment. They won't let me out their sight. So yeah, I will do a bat blending video this weekend. If there's any ideas or suggestions what type of bats you want me to, a bat that you would like me to blend up, whether it's a textured bat, a gradient bat, how I prep mini bats, that might be something that you might be interested in. Just pop them in the comments below this video and I will get that sorted. So I'm going to spin and ply. It's Roving. Now which way we go? We're going that way. So it's merino with soya blend. It's one of my favorite blends. I love this stuff. Now I'm going to mention, okay, so I've just seen a comment in the Q&A, and I'm going to just mention a little bit. And you probably have noticed on the video that I did the other week there, when I showed you, bear with me a second, you know, she does this every time. Why can't she come prepared? I don't know. Hold on a minute. See what I mean? See what I mean? Right, so remember I did this crochet sample the other week there. Look at it, it's really pretty, isn't it? Like a little neck. It's not very big. You could probably do with putting a button in it, and then you could use it as a little cowl or headscarf. Yeah, you could probably get away with a headscarf, is it? It's that small. Anyway, stop prattling about, Joe. This was this blend. Well, it was a different colourway, but this was merino and soya bean. I'm sure it was. I'm absolutely positive it was merino and soya bean that I did with this. And Liz put a little question in the Q&A profile, the one with the little sheep on it from last month, and she's got a couple of little questions there, the things that are in her head. And she said, is soybean merino blends, and she asked something about it. Obviously, it's soya-based fibre, so it doesn't catch colour. Now, generally, no, it doesn't, because yes, it's a plant-based and it is cellulose fibre, and it does make really, really pretty. Can you see the little white flecks? Those little white flecks is the soya fibre. Now, on this, and I'll show you, I'll just fold this up so I can put it away neat and tidy, because the dogs will grab my stuff. So I'll just put that over there. So yeah, it gives a really, really, it's the same as well if you're spinning with a merino bamboo, a merino tencel, anything that's plant-based in there. Very rarely you'll get them to die. It's really quite hard, but now and again your acid dye will catch, now and again. So look, there is soya, and it has caught a little bit of the fibres. So general rule, no, it doesn't die, because it is a cellulose fibre, but now and again it will catch, which is why it's one of my favourites, because I like the fact that it doesn't like to adhere to the rules, a bit like myself. Anyway, so there you go. So that's why I like it. I think it's really, really pretty. Now, if you wanted a merino or a blue-faced Leicester or a Shetland that has silk in it, usually just a silk that's in there unless otherwise stated, you want to with that, and I've mentioned this before, you want to soak your wool first, right? But add a little dash of washing up liquid, your fairy, or whatever it is that you use, just a tiny dash in the water, and leave the roving, that's the blended roving, to soak for a little while longer. That's to make sure that the silk proper saturates. I'm sure I've done this with you guys before and explained the method for dyeing silk, because you want to leave it. I mean, you can put it in the water and put it in with your rovings in the sink to soak, pre-soak before you dye them, and it will get wet. But silk takes a long time for the actual water molecules to soak all the way through into that fibre. So you really want to ideally soak it the night before, and you'll be able to see that it's soaked properly in comparison to one that you've only soaked for a couple of hours, because it'll sink. That's when you know that it's completely saturated with water. Now, home dyeing, as you know, you're not going to get those amazing solid colours that you get from the mills when you buy a pre-dyed mulberry silk or a pre-dyed, an already dyed tissue silk from the suppliers. But you're going to get a better penetration of silk dye pigment in your silks when you're using your acid dye, in comparison. You can even do them in the jar. You don't have to dye them up in the tray. And I like to dye them up in the tray because I can line them up the side, especially when I'm using something like this in the dye tray, when I'm doing different colours. I can line up my silk at the side of the roving when it's laid out in the tray, and then each bit I can catch that colour on my silk, and that's why I like to do that. But then I have done jar dyeing, and done it in a bain-marie. Not jar dyeing when I've left it out in the sun, but you can do the solar version of that and leave it out on a really warm sunny day, and it will eventually, the water will clear up because the acid dye has saturated into your silk. But it's all about the preparation of it. So not with any other plant base, but with silks, if it's on a blended roving, you want to ideally soak it for a good couple of hours more than what you would normally do, to make sure that the moisture, the water has penetrated that silk properly, so that it is actually sopping wet. Yeah, because if you have a little try yourself, if you're fortunate to have a little bundle of just a silk at home, if you've got, say, little 50-gram bags, split it into 225 grams, okay, or even smaller samples than that. Put one in a bowl with a little bit of washing up liquid, okay, and leave it at night. The next day, get the other half of your remainder and put it in a bowl with your washing up liquid, just a dash, literally just a dash. You don't need a lot, it just helps with the penetration, okay. Put that in there. The there's a word for it, and I will remember the word. So you've soaked this one overnight, okay? This one is the next morning, and you're going to soak that, say, till 12 o'clock. It will be wet, but it won't have sunk to the bottom like this other one would have done, and you'll see the difference. And then if you dye them in the exact same method in the same tray, you may see a variable in the dye saturation in the fibre. Give it a go yourself, honestly. I will try and remember to do, when I've got some silks in, because I haven't at the moment, but when I do have some in, I will do an experiment with you, and I'll get that added in to the book, and I might add it in the back section in the book. Yeah, because I do plan to do a couple of little dye things, especially if you're using it for blending with, in that section as well, not just in the Rovings, but it'll make sense as to why I've not done it that side, I'm doing it this side of the book. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I digress, because that's not what I'm here for, is it? Right, this was one Roving, 150 gram Roving. I have split top to tail all the way down the middle, and done 2 little braids. Okay, now I'm going to do the flip-flop. So I'm going to do the flip-flop, and you're like, what's the flip-flop, Jo? Right, so all I'm doing is I've got purple on one end, and I'm going to spin purple, pink, green, aqua, blue into green or teal, that end first, and then the other one on another bobbin I am going to spin it the opposite way, the flip-flop. So I'm going to spin them like that on 2 different bobbins. So one bobbin will be purple through to pink, through to aqua, through to teal, and then on my second bobbin it will be teal through to blue, through to pink, and through to purple. And then we're going to apply them off together, and we'll get a really different effect, something a little bit nice to do for a change. So it's an easy way to put I've written it all down. It's an easy way to get different colour combos. So the flip-flop is just split your Roving from top to tail, ideally in a colour change that's an obvious block sections is best for this effect. But before anyone asks, who's to say that you couldn't use, if you had, say you had 2 Rovings, and one was really dark version of the colour block change, and the other one was a pastel version of the colour block change. Do the same flip-flop there if you wanted to. Start with the dark purple, and apply it off with the pastel green. Do you see what I mean? And then you would end up with, at the other end, when it's all applied together, you'd end up with the pastel purple applied up with the really strong teal. Do you get my meaning? So yes, you can do that. I'm just preempting anyone saying, could I do it in a different? Yes, you can. Nobody's stopping you from doing it. That is all about experimenting. I'm just giving you the tools to have the ideas and the bouncing board to go off and dive into it and have a go yourself. Okay, because at the end of the day, these aren't spinning techniques. These are just preparation methods. Okay, they're all about controlling your colour. That's all it is, and it's about playing. Okay, so yeah, do your flip-flop. So keep track of which colour end to spin if you forget. So like, you've gone off, you know you've split them, you know you've spun one off, and especially if the colours are very similar, just put a little loose knot, literally like that, in one end, and then you know when you go to spin it, that's the end that you've got to spin. I tend to braid it so that when I go to unbraid it, I know that the braiding end that comes out really easily is the end I'm going to start with. But everybody's different, so we'll go with put a knot in it, and I'm just going to roll that up, and I'm going to stick that one to one side. There we go. So and get this started, I'm going to start with the green side. I'm just going to spin it for fun. I'm then going to think about any type of methodology, if I want it thick or thin. I'm just going to tease it open a little bit because it's been sat over there. I did steam it, but it's been sat on the desk for a week now, and it's feeling a little bit compacted. So I'm just going to tease it open just to help relax the fibres a little, and it just makes it easier for me to spin as well, as you know. So anywhere that looks a little bit compacted, just give it a little, come on mate, open up. There we go. Especially when you've got fibres that have died, that when you're blending with the, when you've got blended roving and you've got your cellulose fibres in there, they do tend to want to cling to themselves, cling to each other a little bit more. So look, can you see that soya? So it is pink. That's not the wool, that is pink. And then it goes all of a sudden into little white sections. Okay. Oh. So you just keep teasing that, and this should spin up like a dream. I do this as part of my drafting preparation. I don't generally tend to draft out like as a prep. I like to open up my fibres, and that's my prep. I find sometimes that's the bit that you really need to concentrate on, is just opening up these fibres so they're not all hugging each other and compacted. But if you, once you've done this bit and you want to then elongate it, then that's up to you. But I find I do that naturally when I'm spinning anyway. Right. Oh, nearly at the end. Right, there we are. This feels a little bit dense. How fluffy does that look? Oh. Phone seems to have a mind of its own today. Right, so let's get this going. Just turn that around a bit. I love the effect of this blend. I just find it really, really pretty. Even when you've got bold colours, I find with the soya in it, it just helps, I don't know, gives it a softer look about it. There we go. So I'm just going to carry on with this, and I will catch you when I'm about to do the next one. Okay, so I'll see you in a minute. So I've just pre-drafted, so I didn't, we've already done it with you on, so I didn't see the point of making you sit there and watch me do it again. But did you remember your knot? But if you don't remember your knot and you've already done your bobbin, then just remember that's the last colour, the colour I ended with on my bobbin. So it goes green, aqua, blue, pink and purple. So that's my last bit of colour that I did. So I know that I need to spin on my bobbin starting with this colour, because I want the opposite. Okay, because when I apply this bobbin up with this bobbin, I should start with, I should be spinning and plying the purple and the green together. Make sense? Okay. That's what we're going to do next. So we're going to put that through here on the leader. Just give it a bit of a gentle tug so I can grab a hold of that. Make sure my scotch tension's tight enough to get going, and I'm spinning, and I know my go-to is always in the right direction. Sorry, right. I spin from right to left. Always do. It's just my natural disposition. And then I'm not spinning for any type of worsted or woolen. I'm just spinning at my natural default. Okay. Sometimes it's nice just to spin for the sake of spinning. Sometimes you find that it's the prettiest yarn that you've made, because you're just a lot more relaxed. You can feel it in your shoulders, your back's not tense, your neck's not hurting because you're not concentrating on doing little short spins, like short drafts and stuff like that. You're spinning for the enjoyment of it. There we go. So I'm going to carry on with this, and I will catch you in a bit when we ply these two halves, opposite halves, back together again into one yarn. So I'll catch you in a minute. There we go. So that's those two 25-gram rovings spun off end to end, starting with the opposite colour on each bobbin. So this one I ended with the purple but started with the green, and this one I started with the purple and ended with the greeny, oh there it is, the green there. Okay, you can see that's my last colour. So now I'm going to apply these two up together. Let's see how this goes. Bobbin, there it is. Oh. And this is nice and easy, dead quick. I just need to grab my hook and my leader and get them threaded through. Oh. For the love of goodness, there we go. Honestly, sometimes things are so fiddly that it shouldn't be that hard to sort it out, should it really? Hey, so, oh no, I need to go in the opposite direction. So I've spun up my singles from right to left. Now I want to do it from left to right. So this should start, there we go, taking it in. Very easy. Looks really quite pretty, the blue and the green, the purple and the green together. I'm just going to tighten up my drive band a bit. The yarn's not consistent and it's nowhere near perfect with a spin. Just as I say, sometimes you just want to spin for the heck of it, not for anything other than you fancy a bit of spinning and a bit of mindlessness. Don't know about mindfulness, but it's definitely mindlessness. And I will probably crochet this one because it is a little bit more of a wonky donkey yarn, and plus I've got some projects on the go at the moment. I'm knitting a jumper, so I haven't got any spare needles. Not the size I'd need for knitting with this. So yeah, there we go. So we're crocheting this one into a swatch, and my crocheting's a lot faster than my actual knitting. So this video will be up and out today, being Thursday the 1st of May. Oh dear. Oh, that's really, I'm loving it. It's a little bit like a barber pole crossed with a fractal, because you're getting these colour transitions all the way through this, but with a barber pole effect, because though they're changing over colours as you go, both bobbins, but when they're up against each other, you've got these mental contrasting colours, but just like the two colours. Interesting to see what they look like once it's in a project. Right, let's see if I can wind some of this up so you can see what I mean. Oh, they're a bit far away, so bear with me a second. But do you see what I mean? How pretty is that? And now we're getting this like mauvey pink on this turquoise. It's just so pretty. It's slightly mesmerising. There's a bit of a big chunk of soya fibre that's just that buttery cream colour that's not had any dye on it. There we go. So I'll pop off, finish this off, and I will catch you with this in a little skein so you can see what it looks like. There we go, finished article. It looks really quite pretty, doesn't it? It needs steam set, obviously, but you can see those pastel colours of the pinks and purples, like sort of mauvey colours, blending in with those, and it's actually, I think, made it look a lot more pastel than it is the bold colours. Do you know what I mean? It definitely has come out a completely different look than what I thought it would do. No. So I'm going to go and pop off and get this rolled into a bowl. Well, steam set, rolled into a bowl, and then quickly get a swatch done up, and then I'll back with the final results, and I'll look forward to seeing or reading what you think of it. Okay. So I'm back with the results of spinning up that yarn and plying it. See, it's got this sort of barber pole look because we've done the two colours. But you've got, now that's the last of the green up there, but I never had enough to be able to finish off around this edging so you could see the transition of colour. But you can see where it goes from the green into the tealy colour, then into the turquoise, and then it goes into the aqua, then into the pinky colour with still hints of aqua, and then it's more pinky going into purples all the way along here, and there's the more lilac-y mauvey colours, and there is the stronger colour. So it makes for an unusual, I could have done this as a knitted swatch, but because the yarn was, it was just quite an uneven looking yarn, I thought I might as well just do a crochet, and then you can see what it looks like once it's in. Think it looks more arty because you can see where there's sections where I've not really paid attention. I've probably told a dog off for looking barking at the window or something like that. But yeah, so that's that blue there, which is over here with the purple in it. So can you see? You've got the purples, and then you've got the pink that overlay with the turquoise, and then into the aqua, and then this is where both pinks meet together from both the single yarns, and then they're plied together to create this, and then it reverses again. And here is the same section that is round about here. So it starts with purple and green, mauves, purples with the blues, and then all the way through there. So I hope you like this spinning video. If there's a different technique or something you'd like me to have a look at into, for next one. I promise I'll definitely do you a art bat video for next time, just so you got something a little bit different, a bit of a change and a break away from the norm. I know I could probably do with a bit of a break from it as well. So don't forget, when you watch this video, hit that thumbs up button on when you're watching this on YouTube, whether it takes you the link through. It still helps the algorithms, even though it is a private video linked for you lot. I do appreciate you following me and the community that we've got. If you're more than welcome to share Patreon onto your pages, and you can help out small businesses like myself, especially this moment when there's financial climate, by sharing posts on our social media, whether it's Instagram or Facebook. It really does help a lot. It might even bring in another customer that we wouldn't have had otherwise, which is really, really appreciated by all. And it doesn't cost you anything. It's free. It's just a click of a button and a share, and that would help us out immensely, not just myself, but other people as well. So thanks for watching, and I will catch you again next week. Don't forget Q&A. Stick a question down on the little sheepy picture, and I will get that sorted out later on in the next, I think, week and a bit, because we're in May now. We're in May. God, where did that month go? So yeah. So take care of yourselves. Don't forget, there is use your Patreon code, and it'll let you have buy two get one free on art bats over on the website. That's valid now until the 15th of May for you guys. I've just sent an email to those that are subscribed to the website. If you use Joe50 at cart, while there's an ongoing sale as well, you can get buy two get one free. I've got a lot of bats on the website, and about 85 products that reduce either 20 or 15%, what being art yarns, rovings, pre-measured warps, that sort of thing. Quite a lot of stocks up there. It's a spring clearance, and that'll be ongoing until next Wednesday. The code for you guys will be valid until the 15th of May, but the Joe50 code you can use as well, so you might get two of them this month. Joe50 code runs out next Friday, the 9th of May. The sale items will be coming off the website on Wednesday. So thanks very much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I will catch up with you soon.